Okay, modelers, just forgive the noise of the fan running in the background. I'm going to do another review now on one of our new MiniArt kits we've got in. Now this guy has been around for a little while, it's not like it's a brand new kit or anything, but we've just got these into stock in our store, and it was one of the ones I've never actually seen the kit in real life. I have seen it built and so on, but I've never actually had a chance to open the kit and have a look through it. But it's one of them ones, it's one of those, it's just completely different, something different, and it grabs your eye. Even the box art on this thing is just gorgeous. The great thing about this kit, this one comes with all the passengers, the crew, all that sort of thing, furniture, and it comes with the road base as well, with some power lines that join up over the rams up here, electric rams. So it's a full kit. This thing is really cool. And well, we've got it in our store for $85.95, which we can do better. If you come in the store, talk to us, we can drop a bit of money off that. But for that price, honestly, you're getting like a full diorama kit. This thing is just sensational. For what you get in the box for that price is just incredible. So anyway, that's the front of the box. Up here we have obviously all the different colours and markings that you can do the thing in. But again, the world's your oyster with these things, guys. It really lends itself to dioramas, where if you don't want it, you can buy a version without the people in it. So you can have a wrecked tram, which I've seen done quite a few times, that it's after the war, it's been sort of pretty much smashed up and left in the street. Or you can have it with some of the MiniArt stuff, like the little motor cars and delivery cars, and like a proper full-on street scene. But the world's your oyster with things, it really is. So anyway, that's the box, and we'll open it up, and it is a fairly big box, and actually the weight in this thing is incredible. And one of the things you notice when you open these boxes is just how full they are. It's incredible, the amount of stuff they've stuffed into this box. It's just unreal. Again, the instructions these days with these kits from MiniArt are just beautiful. First two pages, that nice high glossy paper. The instructions inside are really, like, it's not high gloss, but it is really nice thick paper. The details and the drawings and stuff for the instructions, it's just great. I really love these kits. As you can probably hear the way I'm bragging about it, I really am enticed with these kits now. They're just beautiful. So first two pages here, some of those beautiful glossy colour photos of the different versions we can put together. The one up here with the Coca-Cola ads is something I'd definitely be interested in doing. Then we have this one here, all our sprue callouts, and as you can see, we've got a box full of sprues in this thing. It's a really full-on kit. And I'm not going to try and name the parts as we put this together, because I really don't know what I'm looking at, because this thing's a tram. So obviously what I can see here is bits and pieces going together, and there's suspension, so this must be the underside of the tram, I would say, because of the suspension on there. But it's not a simple 2 or 3 pieces. There is lots of bits of detail. So take your time when you're doing these, guys, when you're putting these together, to get everything right. Now obviously you've got to do this twice, because it's got 2 times down here, so you'll have a back and a front suspension set up. But the instructions are really nicely drawn, very clear. They haven't tried to jam too much in any little space. Everything's really nicely done. So obviously this is suspension put together, flipped over, and then we're starting on the flooring of the tram. Putting glass into the side walls here, I can see. These must be the doors for the tram, because they've got the hinges on them. And then we're building 2 more of these, so honestly, I would say, actually this is step 1 now. I'm not sure what's going on here, guys. There must be a couple of different versions you can build, maybe. Oh no, it might be just step 1, step 2, but anyway, I'll have as I'm building it, I'll definitely make sure. There must be 2 versions of it, I would say, because that's just a repeat there. Then we're putting it together here, by 2 again. As you see, once you start doing this part, it's all sort of going together really quick, because it's big slabs that are putting it all together, all your windows. Again, there's probably going to be a bit of masking in this. You have to decide how you want to paint this before you put it together, because obviously interior is going to have a fair bit of detail and painting. You'll probably want passengers sitting in there, all that sort of thing. So that means painting it, putting it together, and then masking it up to protect the inside. And here we have all the wheels going together. Now this looks fairly complex. There's quite a few steps in this, so this is one of them ones, guys. Read it carefully as you do it, and everything's done by 2. I can see by 2 and everything there, so take your time with these, because there's lots of little parts and you could miss them. And then that seems to be the end of that, and then we're going on to our the electricity poles, and even they are done in a few little details, and not just one big pole. It's actually a bit of detail putting them together. The fencing, the seat, all those beautiful little parts that are added to it. Then we've got our base down here, that beautiful cobblestone base or paved base. Some more pretty little parts on our poles with the wiring, and then it's putting the base, everything on the base. Now, this is the other thing about these MiniArt kits that is just sensational. Look at all these posters and advertising and stuff you can use. It is just absolutely awesome. Really, really awesome that they add all that sort of stuff in. Then our colour call-outs are actually done in colours. And we've got our MIG down there, we've got Humbrol, Mr. Colour Testers, Volatile. So you've got plenty of choices there, and then you've got all the figures, the painting for those as well. They're just, honestly guys, just beautiful stuff. And then 3 more versions on the back cover there. So really nice. Even just looking through instructions like normal guys, I get excited even about that. So first one here, we've got, looks like backs and fronts of the tram. It's soft up here. Some really nice detail moulded into them as well. I can't see any flash on any of the parts at all so far. The wooden slats are nicely done. I can see a couple of places, fine parts where they've been joined onto the sprue. Might be a little bit iffy where you cut them off. You have to be careful, fine parts like that, because they're joined in probably not the most opportune places, but just if you're careful they will be fine. Here's our figures. This is something I was interested in. I had someone say, oh yeah, but MiniArt, their figures, you know, the stuff isn't that crisp. But I'll tell you, looking at this is incredible. Like the detail in this is really, really nice. I mean, figure sets like this you'll pay, you know, $20 for, even just on their own. So even the hair up here, there's little bits of hair and stuff, just incredible. The hats, really nice. A little bit of flashing. Obviously with figures there's going to be a bit of clean up on the seam lines, but yeah, there's plenty of detail on those. They're really nicely done guys. They're not bodgy at all. They're not big, thick, without shape. Really nice. Very nice indeed. And that one's just a copy, I think. And that's a copy of the first one we looked at. Then these are the seats. Look at that beautiful work. That is incredible. And there's the frame for the seat. There is a fine seam line, but it's barely visible, the seam line on that where it's actually really nice. So that's not going to take too much clean up at all. It's a beautiful, like finely moulded, really nice. Obviously we have to cut the lugs off. There's going to be a bit of clean up there, but just be careful again. Fine stuff like this, you don't want to ruin it by cutting too close. Cut away a bit and then clean it back. But that is really nice. And that's just a copy of that first one we looked at. And there's another copy again. And another copy again. And as you can see, this box is just jam-packed full of these sprues. And these are all little bits and pieces. These are obviously part of our wheels, bit of our suspension. Again, no flashing, and these are really fine. All these rails here are just so fine. You're going to have to be very careful cutting them off the sprues. This one's joined in 4 places, so be very careful. I actually see wing nuts there, so that's going to be, yeah, you're going to need your tweezers and your glasses, guys, to see some of this stuff. It's very, very fine. But that's a good thing for some of us modelers. We really enjoy doing stuff like that. And this must be part of our electric poles, I'd say, with that coil wrapped around there. Now that's going to take a little bit of clean up because the way that's joined on with all those pins there, and there is a seam line there as well, so that will take a little bit of clean up to get that right. And these guys here joined on all them places too. Bit of clean up, but nothing we can't handle, guys. It's not completely ugly. And oh, look at those, aren't they lovely? These are the poles themselves. Beautiful stuff. Just can't wait to see these things together. Actually can't wait to put them together. They're just so nicely moulded. Now these are moulded in 2 halves that they put together, so obviously you'll have your seam there where you join them. That'll have to be cleaned up, but very, very nice indeed. These two are the same as 2 we looked at before, so obviously going to be a lot of double ups, guys. I'm not really sure what some of this stuff is. Like I was saying, it's a tram, so I really don't know what some of this stuff is. But that looks like a part of the bench seat, the slats on the bench seat there. But again, there's no flashing or anything. It's really, really crisp. The moulding is so crisp on these, it's incredible. Again, some of the places they join these parts is a little bit, it's probably not something I would have chose to do, but it is what it is. It's something we can work with. Doesn't look too bad. That's another one of the same. This one is a bit different, but it's the same thing. It's just all rods and pins and all sorts of stuff. See, the chassis down here has got a couple of injector pin marks that will probably have to be cleaned up down here. Depending on whether it's facing the inside or the outside. That'll probably be the inside. You see the outside, it's got a lot more detail on it, so maybe you won't even see that at all, but it's up to you if you want to clean stuff like that up. Look at your instructions, see where these parts go, and you work it out for yourself. That's the same sprue, but just the opposite. Now, this is something I was interested in. I'm trying to hold this up to the light. Just give me a second, guys. Okay, the glass is really nice. It's nice and thin. It's not distorted at all. I'm looking at an image through the glass. It's got two pieces of glass and I can still read it clearly. So the glass work in this is really nice in there. There's quite a bit of it in there. It's one of them ones that they've made it so the sprues hold it all apart, which is a great idea, because otherwise sometimes you put glass like that in a bag together and it'll rub around, it'll actually, you know, it'll leave a nice nasty scratch on some of your stuff. So okay, here we're getting into some of the nitty gritty stuff, the interior, the slats on the doors, inside, heap of injector pin marks in there, but I'm not sure they'll probably be covered up, I'd say, guys. It'll be something, maybe not, I don't know. Oh, actually there is, looks like there is a piece that goes in there that, so it should be covered up maybe. But again, read the instructions as you're doing it, guys. Work out for yourself, they need to be cleaned. But again, it's just beautiful. All these little rivets or bolts or whatever they are, just so fine. They're really nicely done. They're beautiful headlight, the way that's moulded in there is lovely. That one's a copy. And looks like here we have our roof. So the interior's got a bit of detail in it. You can see the lining up here. The rest of it hasn't, but I dare say your seating will cover all that up on the inside. There's your flooring. Very, very nicely done. There's our bumper. The top of the roof looks fine. I can't see, again, I can't see any flashing. The only flash you can see is really, really fine bits on certain pieces. Like if you hold it to the light on this piece here, you see a really fine bit of flashing, but it's hardly even there. It's very, very nicely done. That one's obviously just a copy of the last one we just looked at. Then we got decals, and again there's plenty of options there, guys. There's heaps of, and they look to be fairly nice. I like the last kit I reviewed from MiniArt there. You can see a bit of a raise around them, so they're not like super thin, but they do look like that they'll settle down. They're not overly thick. They will settle down nice with a bit of solution on them. And obviously this is our road base. This is one of those things I love about these kits. It's actually comes in the kit. It's thrown in. You know, it's not something you have to make or buy separate, and it's really nicely done. Looks the brickwork's not uniform. Each brick looks a bit different to others. There's bits of rocks and different things. There's pins sticking out of the ground. Yeah, so that is really nice. The rails have got no flashing. Very, very nice. So honestly, guys, another kit that I just cannot wait to get sunk into and get started on. Obviously, I'll do a full build on this, guys, when I do it. But I'm really looking forward to doing this now. Now that I've opened it up and had a really good look at it, it's one of those things that, well, like us modelers always do, every time we look at something like this, it just grabs you and you're just like, oh, I've got to build that, I've got to build that. But yeah, it's one of those kits that just does grab you. So anyway, guys, like always, check out the links down below there. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Hit my sub button down there if you like that. Check out all the other links that we've got down there. But like always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video.